There's a service called Fine Defender. Now, it's an online appeal service. It can help you overturn a dodgy fine. And to find out more, I'm joined now by the founder and CEO, Adam Cockayne from Fine Defender. Good afternoon, Adam.
Oh, good afternoon, Dee Dee. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So tell us about, firstly, Fine Defender. What does it actually do? How does it work?
Okay, it's a simple process. If you have a fine and you think it's unfair, you can come onto our website. You select the type of fine it is, you answer about 10 questions, and then we can generate your appeal documents, and we lodge them with the organisation that issues the fine. And it costs about $25 to $35 to lodge an appeal, and we'll keep challenging that for as long as it takes until the client gets a fair outcome.
So you worked as a prosecutor in this area, so you would know then how common is it that people are unfairly fined?
Well, I'll give you some statistics. So far, we've succeeded in having 250,000 fines withdrawn, and that's resulted in $25 million being paid back to motorists in Victoria. That's as a result of a completely defective review system that not just 5 councils were responsible for, because they outsourced their review process to a private company, which is illegal under the legislation. And we think that there's a whole range of other councils and other organisations such as Victoria Police, which are also getting the whole thing wrong.
What are the most common areas that people are getting unjust fines?
It's across everything, Dee Dee. It's in parking. I've had lots of clients with perfectly good excuses, with complete defences under the road rules, where the councils just ignore it and insist on the client paying the fine, and they bully them with threats of enforcement. So we get involved and we tell them, no, you have to apply the law, you have to make a reasonable decision. And if you try to enforce it, we'll appeal it further. So we take it as far as it goes.
What would you say is your best result that you've had in having a fine overturned?
I did have somebody, you would think going through a red light sounds pretty bad, and yes, it can be. But the fact is, you've got to look at the particular circumstances. I had a client who was doing the right thing. He was approaching some traffic lights. He was watching the traffic in front of him. The lights were green. The person in front of him slammed on the brakes and changed lanes right in the middle of the intersection, so he slowed down. And by the time he entered the intersection, the red light had turned red. The lights turned red just a fraction of a second. We explained that to Victoria Police. They refused to withdraw the fine. I then had to take it to the court, showed the magistrate the photos, and the magistrate dismissed the fine straight away. So it's absurd when somebody in those circumstances gets the same penalty as a hoon who might go through at 200 kilometres per hour when the light's been on red. You've got to look at the particular circumstances and exercise discretion and not fine people who've got reasonable excuses.
When someone gets a fine, it's really, you're up against the might of some sort of great big organisation, so it can be terrifying to take on. But how important is it well, first of all, I start by asking you, how do people tackle it? Like, where do you start if you want to tackle a fine or take it on?
Yeah, the difficulty there, Dee Dee, is that you get all your application materials together. It can take you a lot of time. You submit it to the organisation, and you get a template letter back, just rejecting your appeal. So clearly somebody hasn't even looked at the documents. And that's what the Ombudsman found in her report, which she published in February. She said people were spending fractions of a second conducting reviews, so that's completely unacceptable. So what you need is a service like ours where we've got the legal expertise and the process to keep fighting. So if we get a template letter, we'll send a follow-up legal letter demanding a proper review. And if we don't get one, then we just keep persisting, because that's what the legislation says. If you've got a reasonable excuse, your fine must be withdrawn.
What's your crowdfunding campaign that you're running at the moment?
Yes, we've got a crowdfunding campaign through a website called Virtual. What that means is people can become a shareholder in Fine Defender for as little as $100, because we want as many people to join us on the journey to create a fair and just system. And that also has other benefits as well. You'll get free appeals if you become a shareholder. So it's a simple matter of going onto our website at Fine Defender, and there's a button there you can click on, and it will take you to the investment website, and that'll explain how the process works.
So you're looking to expand. You're just in Victoria and New South Wales at the moment?
We are, that's right. We're hoping to raise some money so that we can do some marketing and expand our service right around Australia. And if that proves to be successful, then we can even look at going overseas as well.
All right. Interesting stuff. Thank you, Adam. We'll keep in touch with you. And if anyone is interested, finddefender.com.au is where you can find some more information. That's Adam Cockayne, the founder and CEO of Find Defender. I can see we have a lot of calls coming through on this. A lot of people, I think, have been, or feel they've been unjustly fined.